All right, you guys, this is an emergency video coming at you today because I've realized that I've made a few huge mistakes in my progression on my Zenless Zone Zero account, going up to Interknot level 50 and now being level 50, and I need to impart some knowledge onto you guys. So this is a no BS video. I'm just gonna get right into it. Okay, I'm gonna start off with a little bonus tip for anyone who's watching this who isn't level 50 yet, because I realize not many people are if they haven't been refreshing every day. I'm definitely not saying go refresh, because it's like, what are you in a hurry for? We're all going to be the same level in probably about 3 months. But you know, I like to do it. I like to get ahead when I can. But I have a little PSA for you guys. Once you hit level 50, that is when you can get your characters to max level. So as you can see here, I have my Ellen Joe at level 60, and that's as high as she's gonna go for the foreseeable future. Same thing with her weapon here, is level 60 as well, which feels really good to get a max. But my PSA for you guys is that this takes an absolute shit ton of materials, and it's not going to be possible to pre-farm for all of your characters. I had this like weird pipe dream of like, I'm going to pre-farm from 40 to 50 and just get my teams up, or at least my main 2 DPS up. But especially with Zhu Yan coming out, she kind of griefed my materials a little bit, and it was near impossible for me to actually pre-farm to get both my main DPSs up to 60. I'll show you right here, not the skills and base stats. If I try to just ascend Zhu Yan, not only am I going to need these 20 attack components, which is, you know, if you're level 50, maybe like 3 or 4 runs, I'm also going to need 400,000 Dennies just for the promotion. It's absolutely ridiculous. No matter what material you're looking at, if you're looking at the XP level up materials, weapon XP level up materials, the essential materials, Denny's, you're going to be starved for all of them. Okay, I don't care about those delusional people in my comments talking about, oh well, I have so many Denny's. Denny's aren't a problem. It's going to be a problem when you hit level 50. You're going to be starved for everything. So that's kind of my PSA to you guys. If you're getting up to level 50, you know, I would maybe try to pre-farm for your main DPS so that you can actually kill things. But really past that main DPS, I would not be too concerned about pre-farming for the rest of your team. And really even for a second main DPS, unless you're like a cutting edge player who's trying to push that Shiyu defense as far as possible, as early as possible. But past those types of people, I would really just focus all of your materials onto one main DPS so that when you hit IK 50, you're not going to go into these domains and be taking like 5 minutes to kill like the weapon component domain, because once your account hits 50, no matter what domain you do, everything is going to have a ton of health. Even the XP domains, they're not going to be hard necessarily, but it's going to take you forever if you're under leveled, because everything's going to have 1,000,000 health and your stats aren't going to be to a point where you can kill things fast enough. So that leads me to the main point of this video. For those of us that are account level 50, what do we need to prioritize first? Well, hopefully you pre-farmed enough to get a main DPS to level 60, because it is a thing to where if there's a big differential between your level and the enemy's level, you're just not going to do as much damage, right? So that is king. That is what you should focus on. Now, what I focused on next was leveling up my skills. As you can see, I have Ellen's pretty high here. I have all of her main damage dealing ones at 11. Now, this is kind of my main realization that I had today, really, about the importance of the order of which you level things. So I had pre-farmed for Ellen's talents a little bit, and I was really excited to max a character out. I don't know what it is about my brain, but there's just something really satisfying about saying I have her at level 60, I have her weapon at level 60, and I have all of her talents maxed out, so I never need to touch them again. It's just really satisfying. I have this like itch in my brain that I need to do it right away, but I don't think that I should have focused so much on the talents, because if you look at how much it costs to level these up, this for a free-to-play player who's not refreshing like I am every day, this is going to take like several days of farming to get even just your talents from maybe 8 or 9 up to 11 for all of them, right? And so luckily for me, I had pre-farmed a little bit, and this only took me like a couple days of farming at level 50 to get them up to 11. But then once I did, I didn't see like huge changes in my damage when I did go into domains, right? And so my original plan of attack was after I got Ellen's talents up, I would start working on the rest of my team. As you can see, I got Lycan up to 50, and I was ready to just like start fully investing in him. But I made a different decision today, okay? What I said was, well, it's still taking me forever to kill things, because like I said, when you're IL 50, it's like things take forever to kill. They have so much damn health. and I wasn't doing a lot with them, even though I had my Ellen at max level, I had her skills up to 11, and I had her weapon leveled up. I was like, what is going on? And then I thought about it. I had gotten a pretty good set of like level 1 W disk drives, but I hadn't leveled them up really. I maybe had like a few at 3, maybe one at 9, but I hadn't really focused on this, right? So today I said, you know what, instead of trying to level my whole team up so that they're on par with Ellen, I am first gonna just invest all of my energy today into getting a good set for Ellen, or at least a passable set for Ellen, and level them all up to 15, so at least those main stats are all where they need to be. And let me tell you guys, as soon as I made this decision, I might have tripled, maybe quadrupled my damage in one day. It's actually ridiculous. So as I'm recording this, I'm gonna be honest, I'm remembering this MTash video that came out towards the release of Genshin Impact, if you were around back then, 4 years ago now, where he made this video that was like, this changes everything, and he just talked about equip some artifacts, right? And I know it's like, no shit, equip your W disk drives, but what I'm saying is that once you hit that account level 50, this becomes your top priority in my opinion. If you have just kind of slapped on some level 1 W disk drives and just gotten the set bonuses up until then, you know, that might have been passable until Interknot level 50, but once you hit that, this becomes a top priority in my opinion. I'm definitely not saying don't get your character up to level 60. I think this is still the most important thing, and I don't regret this at all, and maybe even their weapon up to 60 would be necessary. But what I am saying is that getting all of these talents up to level 11 right away should not be a priority. I think I should have left these at 9 probably, and then just went and focused on my W disk drives and gotten these up to level 15. And honestly, they don't have to be perfect, right? I mean, honestly, when I'm doing these first 3 and just trying to get a base set down, I'm just looking for one line of crit and calling it good, right? I got pretty lucky on some of these rolls, but if I would have just had one line of crit, I would have been happy. And then on the second 3, just getting that right main stat, right? Attack percent, ice damage bonus, and crit damage. This one is, I mean, look at these substats, complete dog shit, right? But my focus was just getting the right main stat so I could get a good base set to have, like, you know, passable end game damage. Now I realize for some people that they might hear this tip and be like, yeah, no shit, buddy, like get some good W disk drives and level them up. Like, that's kind of everyone's goal in the end, right? But my point of this video is that the order in which you do things when you first hit that account level 50 and your materials are very scarce, you know, maybe prioritize that over these guaranteed stats first. Because if you're like me, you might have thought like, oh, if I farm talent materials, that's guaranteed stats. I'm not gambling on RNG of whatever stats I get on my equipment. I'm just gonna guarantee that I get these good stat level ups on my multipliers on my skills. And you know, to a certain point, that's smart. But I'm telling you, I would have left these at level 9 and focus more on getting, you know, a passable set of equipment first. I think that is going to be monumental and make a huge impact on your damage when it starts really mattering at account level 50. So here's my final list, my suggestions for what you need to prioritize as soon as you hit account level 50 and even leading up to it. So first thing is you need to pick out a main DPS that you enjoy playing and that is competitive in some way so that you can actually clear just basic domains once you hit account level 50. So get them up to 60 first, focus on their character level, then focus on their weapon level, then maybe go into their skills and get their main ones up to 9. I wouldn't go past 9. For Ellen, that's like her basic attacks, her skill, and ult / chain attack. That might be different depending on what main DPS you're playing. Past that, I would pause that for a minute and go look at their W disk drives. Maybe you're someone that actually got a full set up to 15. They started farming W disk drives early, but if you haven't done this, I would fully get a set up to 15 with at least the right main stats and maybe try to get a little bit of crit on one single line for the rest of them. And once you get that one main DPS all leveled up and ready to go, you're gonna have a lot easier time farming for the rest of your team. So once you get your first main DPS leveled up, I would then focus on the second one. For me, that'll be Zhu Yan. And I'm gonna do the same exact thing in the same exact order. So I'm gonna get her character level up first, then her weapon, then her skills up to level 9, and then focus on getting a full set of level 15 equipment on her. Now, past those 2 main DPS, I'll then start focusing on the rest of my teams in the same order, right? Character level, weapon level, skills up to 9, equipment. I'll probably focus on my stunners first, since they are generally doing more damage, right, than your supporters, and then do my supporters last. Now, bonus tip that's not going to apply to everyone, but for me, I am trying to keep in mind that my Ambi here, who is on my Zhu Yan's team, might not be in my team for very much longer. She might be getting a certain S rank replacement in the next few weeks, and so I'm not going to go quite as hard on her, but for the rest of them, I will level them up in the order that I talked about. And that is the best advice that I have that I wanted to share with you guys. My final disclaimer is that everyone's account looks different. You might have been prioritizing something early on that I didn't prioritize, so maybe you have like a surplus of something and you need to focus on something else. But my point is that no matter what, once you hit account level 50, you are going to be starved, my friend, for everything. So in my opinion, once you do hit that level 50, that is the order of things that you should do to maximize your damage and just make your life a lot easier when you're farming and trying to get everything maxed out, right? That's the best advice I got for you guys. Now, if you're still watching the video at this point, thank you so much for your support. If you have any suggestions or any differing opinions about what people should do at level 50, please let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. If you enjoyed the video, or if you didn't, give it a like, give it a dislike. Subscribe to my channel for more ZZZ content and more gacha content. I'm coming out with stuff very soon. But yeah, until then, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.